All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Okay.
So where does Fortnite fall into?
Oh,
where does Fortnite?
Okay.
Thanks, McDonald's.
Hello, and welcome to the Fiz Kidz podcast. I'm Chris,
I'm Colin.
I'm Zach.
I'm Logan.
And I'm Andre.
and we're the Fiz Kids.
So, welcome back. This is the second episode.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
By the time this goes up,
Yeah,
By the
we're
time
filming
this goes
this
up,
New Year's Eve.
this is
so
New Year's
this will
Eve.
be out in, the next decade.
Next decade.
at some point.
Yeah, but we don't have 2020
Some
vision
point.
yet, so we don't know. So, does anyone have any New Year's resolutions
We have
they'd
a
like
new
to share?
space. We have a new
Yeah, we have a
space.
new
New space.
Need to kind of
New
go
Year's
on new
resolution
space.
is to
We
just
have moved
change
up
locations.
from the warehouse.
Yes, we have broken into an older woman's house and we have taken it as our own. We still have our sponsors with us. Disclaimer, they aren't actually sponsors yet. But we have the Bud Knight still. We have Sam Hubbard, our boy. And we have, we had to get rid of Tiger Woods. He found a better home.
He's stolen.
Ryan
Take
Blaney.
it.
Ryan
He's
Blaney,
gone.
he was cut. He wasn't
Yeah.
providing enough currency.
Yeah.
We don't know
Gonna
where the
make a
tree
profit
went to.
off him.
The plant did not make it
Yeah, we don't know where it went.
from the dungeon.
The dungeon that is the warehouse.
We have some better lighting now. So.
We do have lighting. We have a backdrop. Pretty professional, right? Camera issues haven't been fixed. Still working on that.
Yeah.
Close. We're close.
We're close.
Hopefully no red screen this time.
Yeah.
I don't think we can guarantee anything.
Yes. Welcome to all of our new subscribers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really appreciate it.
So last time we didn't really touch on this, but where the Fiz Kidz name actually comes from. So.
Oh yeah, it's just from a group chat we had back in high school for a physics class, but it just kind of formed into the name of our Discord, and then
Yeah, it used to be just us that was in the physics class, but then it just evolved into our friend group and the people that we play games with.
So
Yep. So, as I said earlier, does anyone have any New Year's resolutions they'd like to share?
I'm trying to learn some new languages. I'm
Yeah.
starting off with some German right now.
Okay.
Hello. That's all I know. Hi.
heck
Are
yeah.
you? What language are you gonna learn after that? You said languages.
I mean, I know
English.
some Spanish, so I'll probably refresh on some Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. Always work on my English a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna make my resolution to go to the gym more. Since the semester ended, I've been back here in the middle of nowhere. There's no gym around, so I'm ready to be back. Get back in, grind, get them gains.
Well, one of the reasons we don't have a gym is because they gave it to we used to have one at school.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was open to everybody.
They gave
and
it
then
to
they
the
just
football
closed it to
team?
the football. Yeah.
Is that really
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Because I remember it
seriously.
used to be open to the public.
Yeah.
Because we'd go there for track, and then
Yeah.
a bunch of older guys would just come in and start using all the equipment.
Yeah, well, see, I got out of football and I was ready to do some other lifts because they only do 3 different body
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah.
And then they just stole it from me a month later, and I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did they do that?
They did that my senior year, so I
Oh.
had gotten out and then I was using the gym, and I like those cables and stuff for shoulders and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they just gutted it over the winter break, I think.
Yeah.
And took it over.
Wow.
But personally, I don't have any resolutions per se because every year I don't do them anyway.
Yeah.
So at this point, I feel like I just need to make a conscious effort and not just say this is my resolution.
Yeah, because you just say it, and then you're like, I did it.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I never remember what it is anyway. It's just kind of I think I'm gonna do this, and then I don't. So
So what about you, Andre?
I don't think I have any either. I don't think I've anytime I have a resolution, I either fail to do it or I don't do it at all. I don't think I've ever had a New Year's resolution, now that I think about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't make any. I mean, I think I have a pretty good lifestyle to begin with. So.
Wow.
I do. I just
man.
don't.
He's living it up, huh?
perfect man over there.
Perfect man, everyone. Andre right here.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
I think I could lose some weight too, and maybe try to learn an instrument.
Oh, yeah? What
Yeah.
instrument are you looking at?
I don't know, guitar, piano, something like
Guitar.
Yeah.
that. The recorder.
The recorder.
Heck
You should
yeah.
learn Wonderwall.
Yeah, Wonderwall on the recorder.
Not on the recorder. I mean, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You go
Just
to,
learn the song.
you could go
sing
to a
it.
party. Yeah. Instead of being like, here, I'm gonna play Wonderwall.
No, I'm gonna play Wonderwall on the kazoo.
Oh yeah.
The kazoo.
I was a part of a kazoo marching band.
Really?
How does
Yeah.
the kazoo even work?
You just like buzz into it.
Well, because like I know that, but like, how
Well,
do you
you
make
have to-
more tunes? With, like, do you hit notes with it?
Yes, you have to
Or-
do it. You have to do it, and it just
But-
and then it just kind of garbles your
yeah,
sound.
But does it actually sound like does it actually hit the proper note, or is it just kind of a...
Listen, the kazoo isn't supposed to be like a professional instrument. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, have you ever seen a kazoo in a symphony orchestra?
I mean,
I mean, at some
I
point,
could almost guarantee
Probably,
at
like,
some
some
point
point.
somebody's done it. There's that one with the giant hammer that they just slam.
Don't they use cannons in like one?
Yeah, they have
They-
cannons.
That's really interesting.
I don't. It might be a similar one. I don't know. I think they're in the same vein of just loud noises.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's transition into sports.
Yeah, one of my wishes for this next year is that we have a better football season for the Bengals. Yeah, we live in the northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, so that's the
Bengals
big
are our
NFL
pride
team.
and joy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Also, our man Sam Hubbard.
Sam
Gotta support
Hubbard,
the
by the
man.
way, congratulations on doing your job and
Yeah.
getting a sack.
Yeah,
Really
very
proud of you.
impressive. Yes.
So the Bengals obviously didn't do too well. 2-14.
Yeah,
they
2-14.
beat the Jets, I believe, and the Browns.
Yeah, they just beat the Browns this past Sunday.
Haven't the
That was
Browns
nice.
been getting better?
They
Oh.
are 6-10.
I mean, that's better than us.
That's better than
Yeah.
us, but
They used to
they
be like 0.
Yeah,
they thought they were Super Bowl bound,
Oh,
and
well,
now
I
they
mean,
are toilet bowl bound.
I think they just got. They probably just got hyped when they got like one win. They were like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, well, they were basically like, "Hey, Cincinnati is trash," and
Oh.
they beat us. I think we played them twice, and then they beat
Yeah.
us, and like we are gods, and then we beat them, and
Yeah.
they're like, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, 2-14, first round pick though.
Mm-hmm.
First round pick. Everyone's saying that we're gonna get Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Yeah,
Yeah, how many touchdowns did you say he had?
I thought he had 7. I might be wrong.
That's
That's
a-
what I heard.
It's
That-
like
that
he was
is
just
a lot.
chucking bombs.
Yeah, and that was like last Saturday, I think.
Yeah,
So
Nice.
it's looking promising that that's going to be who they're going to pick.
I feel like they need to do more than just a new quarterback though.
Yeah,
I feel like they would probably have to fix their offensive line.
yeah. I liked Andy Dalton.
I liked Andy.
He's not the greatest quarterback. But
He's average, and that's
Yeah.
not bad. That's literally average.
At least he enjoyed playing for Bengals instead of the last quarterback, Carson Palmer, who just like hated the Bengals and
Yeah.
wanted out of it. That was
Yeah, I mean he's a good guy. He has his charity
yeah.
that he's been
Mhm.
doing.
Does
he
a
does-
lot for Cincinnati.
Yeah, he does a
It's
lot for
kinda cool.
Cincinnati. He's a nice guy, you know, on and off the field.
Hmm.
And obviously, if they pick Joe Burrow, he probably won't be starting, or he might get traded.
Yeah.
But you know, he still had a good few years here.
Yeah. He had a good last game. He did good the last
He did
game.
good?
So if
Ended-
that was his last game.
If that
it
was,
was
he ended on a
nice
dub.
Farewell, yeah. Mhm.
Not bad about that. Basketball, UK.
Yeah, UK versus Louisville. just
UK won.
happened. That was kind of a big deal for a lot of people I know.
Yeah. Did anyone actually?
Unfortunately, UK won.
Fortunately,
Unfortunately.
anyone actually watch the game?
I watched the end of it. I was on my way to a Christmas celebration, so once I got there, I watched like the last few minutes. It was in overtime already.
Yeah.
When did they play?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Was it Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, they went into overtime. Kentucky won 77-70.
Yeah.
I think it was Maxey who like carried them at the end, put them on their back.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then like Nick Richards like made a free throw, which apparently he never does.
It's like
Back
Shaquille
on.
O'Neal. But you know, we're repping our boy Dante Allen,
Dante Allen.
Hometown
hero.
hero.
Hasn't played yet, but
Hey, he has access.
Wasn't
to
his
the
grades
gym.
like too
They
low
let
or
him in
something?
there.
I thought he was injured.
Oh really?
Yeah,
thought he had
he
something-
got injured because he tore his ACL.
I mean, that was like, did it happen again? Because that was
No, that was last year.
But they were like
Yes,
waiting
still.
until he's like 100%.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah.
there was like a Facebook post or something for his first like 5v5 practice or something.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
starting to practice.
really
now,
do
but
have
he's
to bulk
probably
him
not
up,
going to
though.
be in
Because
the game.
I kept
Yeah,
hearing a
they're
lot of
working
people
to
say that
bulk
his
him up.
grades were bad, and I was like, oh.
No, he's
Oh,
just
that
injured. I
was
think
it.
they're still waiting for him to
Yeah.
get back to 100% before they play him because
Mhm.
obviously you don't want him to go in there
Yeah,
with like
well,
an 80% ACL.
Didn't he tore his ACL and then he like broke his collarbone?
Did he break his
I
collarbone?
didn't know about that.
He got in a wreck. or
I know he had
Yeah,
another
he got
injury
it.
besides
Maybe it
one.
was just somebody over exaggerating
Yeah, all right, we might
I-
want to
I
remember
know-
this point here.
because it's 11 minutes in.
Yeah.
This is the point of the podcast where we stop everything and check the camera because for some reason it has a 4 gigabyte limit.
And our
We're
camera
making
technician,
sure it doesn't cut out.
our camera technician, Colin Beard, everyone. All right, welcome back, everyone. We had a little bit of checking the camera. It's good now. So, anyways, continuing on with what we were saying before.
So, I know Dante got in a car wreck. I didn't know if he broke his collarbone.
Maybe he just heard it. I don't really.
Yeah.
Because I remember him coming to class and he wasn't like.
He didn't have like a neck brace on or anything.
Yeah.
It was probably just some kind of rumor. People are really bad about that.
Yeah.
I also think it might have been from Sam at work, and he's just bad at telling information.
Shout out to Sam at work.
Yes.
Sports, I believe, journalist.
This video is sponsored by.
I think he has something to do with the newspaper.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know Sam actually like did anything with the newspaper until like I met him at Wyatt's. I'm like, wait, that's the same guy on the court.
All right.
It's
Well,
pretty recognizable, honestly.
Well, he wears a hat.
Oh,
when
does
he's
he?
out doing
that's
stuff.
that's
probably
it.
it.
When he's on the job, he wears a hat.
And
when
he doesn't wear a hat at work.
Oh well, he's.
It's his
bald.
alter ego.
Yeah.
I get that.
Sam, don't watch this.
Sam, watch this.
Sam.
Sam, and subscribe, please.
Sam, we love you.
So, transitioning to MMA, I'm the only one that watches it. So,
I watched one clip where the guy got like knocked out in 5 seconds, and that was it.
Ben Askren.
Yeah, after you like hyped him up, and you were like, "This guy's pretty cool," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And
I thought he was
watched it.
cool because like he had some pretty good banter on Twitter, and then he just like got knocked out, and then
He like face planted the guy's. What was it? Was this a knee? Or
it
something?
was a knee. It was a
Yeah.
pretty nasty knee. He got knocked out, and then he went into his next fight and lost, and then he just retired. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, that was the downfall of him. But everyone's looking forward to the Tony Ferguson Khabib fight. You know, that's like a big deal because Khabib's undefeated. He hasn't never lost a round, I believe.
I feel like everybody in MMA is undefeated. Like anytime you hear a big fight, it's like this guy has not lost.
It's because
and
like
then they lose. And
they
it's
have like their
whatever.
professional fights, but before they get into the UFC, they're just like fighting like random trash cans,
Yeah.
and like they defeat them, and they're like, "Oh, this just bolsters your record."
Yeah.
But like it's not against like other UFC and like Bellator and all that.
Yeah.
But Khabib, like he's the real deal. He's like undefeated. Like his streak is over 10, I believe. But the guy he's fighting win streak is also over 10. Tony Ferguson, the blood for the blood gods. He always makes his opponents bleed, and Khabib is like hard to touch, so it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that. I think that's in April of 2020. So, on to this month, the Steam Winter Sale. I want to see what everyone's been buying, playing
I've been saving my money, honestly.
Yeah.
for the
Trying
computer.
to- yeah,
Yeah.
trying to save up for a computer.
Yeah,
Also spent a lot on Christmas gifts, so I had to watch.
I spent $2 on Portal and Portal 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
We played through that.
We played through
Didn't
it.
record it.
Didn't record it.
Thought about it.
If you
after,
want us
but-
to record it,
Leave a like.
Leave
on
a
this
comment.
video.
Like
Not a
and
comment.
subscribe.
like you should like regardless, but leave a comment
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
that you want us to do that.
Even if you don't want it. Leave a like.
Even if you don't want it,
Tell us
please
what-
tell us that you don't want it.
Tell us
Yeah.
what games
Just
to play.
flame us in the
soon.
comments.
Just give us what is the
Something.
word?
Feedback.
Engagement
Feedback.
or something?
Yeah, interaction.
Yeah.
Just interact with us, please.
Interact.
We beg of you.
We'll put a poll down in the comments.
We'll respond to you.
We will
Yeah.
respond.
Someone will. I don't know.
Someone.
Whoever's on.
Yeah. So the theme was Mayor Carol.
Mayor Carol?
Yeah, her name was Carol. There was
I thought
also
it was a guy.
I thought it was there was a girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You can go to her profile and everyone was like commenting on it, like all the Russians. Like
Wait, what is it? I didn't understand there was a theme to a
so,
winter sale.
so like every year they do like
I
a
didn't even pay attention to the winter
Yeah, me
sale.
neither,
Like I don't
honestly.
really look at it that much. It's kind of like
I have like a list of games I need to get, like Red Dead Redemption 2 and
Mm-hmm.
Control, and
Those,
there's some
those
other
are on
ones.
Epic Game Store, though, right?
Some of them are. Is it Red Dead Redemption 2 only on Epic Games right now?
I think
or
it
is
came out on Steam.
I'll
It's
probably
on-
get it on the Rockstar launcher.
I know it's on the Rockstar launcher. It's on Steam, and it might be on Epic,
okay.
but I haven't checked.
It came out on Epic first, and then it went to Steam.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what they do with like everything now.
Mm-hmm.
They just
Yeah.
say, "Hey, we'll give you more money if you do it here first," and they're like, "Okay." But,
And speaking of games,
yeah, we were gonna play Escape from Tarkov soon.
Escape from
think.
Tarkov. We've been looking at it. I kind of introduced everyone to it. I've been watching some people play it, and I thought it was like really interesting. So, if you never heard of it, we'll leave a link so where you can learn more about it somewhere in the description. But it's kind of like a hardcore, realistic, like first-person shooter, like role-playing game kind of deal where you go into this area and you scavenge, but there's other players and there's AI. And if you die, you die. You lose everything that was on your person. Thank you, Zach, for taking a picture in the middle of my monologue. I really appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, anyways, What was my train of thought? Okay, anyways, once you die, you lose everything that's on your character. You can kill other people and get their stuff, and you bring it back. And if you exit the game, like the map, you win, you keep everything that you have, and you just kind of progress from there. So it's kind of interesting, like, are you going to risk taking that good gun that you have to get more, or are you going to lose everything that you brought with you? So
It reminds me of Rust almost.
Yeah.
I've heard it compared to PUBG, but
It's-
like harder. I guess it's where it's everybody starts off and then kind of collides. Kind of.
So when you die in the game, you're permanently dead.
like, you're that character.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you get like a new character, and you have like a stash where you can take stuff from your stash that you gotten on previous runs, and you put it on that character. But like if you die, you lose everything that was on there, except for like you have like a special case that you can put a few items in.
Yeah, it seems pretty interesting. We need to figure out a recording situation
Yeah.
because we just haven't got all that figured
Yes.
out yet. But something is coming soon, most likely.
Speaking of that, we will probably be doing some gaming videos
Yeah.
coming to the channel as well, along with the cast. Rocket League is a big one. We've been
Rocket
playing that a
League,
lot.
we've been playing that basically the entire winter break.
Yes.
So,
We have some pretty good players on the team.
well,
Some bad.
sometimes,
Yeah.
Part of our club,
yeah.
the Fiz
One,
Club.
one of them is the bot.
We
Well,
tried to record a video last
Was
night.
it
but
five?
Well,
There was Raha.
We
somebody
thought
didn't want to
Raja.
record.
There was
Raja.
Viper.
did
Raja
you-
and Viper.
My computer's too not good. to record.
Too bad. It's a laptop.
He's
I
our
couldn't
best
play the
player.
game and record at the same time.
He's our best player, by the way. He probably scores the most goals out of everyone.
Maybe sometimes
so
on
happens-
our own goal. but
Sometimes
Most of the time.
Most
most
of
of the time.
Most of the time.
most of the time. But you know,
The
if you
controls are hard.
if you want to watch
Yeah.
subpar to average Rocket League
Rocket League is
plays,
still relevant at this point. 2020.
It's
When
been
did
a
Rocket
few
League come
years.
out?
It's
2015.
been-
Yeah.
This
it's
is
been a while.
old.
I was lucky to get it, or when we started playing it
Yeah.
more. Like I was able to get the DeLorean and Ecto One pack for like $2.
Yeah.
Both of them together.
The 80s
But-
theme or whatever.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the Radical Summer. I
Yeah.
remember that. Now they're doing the winter.
Yeah, just
One.
winter, like Christmas themes.
Yeah.
Oh, the last DLC or the new DLC is like an anime car, right, or something.
Oh, I know Knight Rider's in there too now. Besides.
I'm more interested in the anime car.
Yeah, there was like what's it called? The Rocket Pass.
Yes, the Rocket Pass.
That's what it is.
Like
It's
it
the
was
Rocket
just the
Pass.
battle
You have
pass,
like a
essentially.
car that you
Mhm.
like upgraded, and it's
It's
like
because Epic bought the people
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Psionics. I thought they did that, and like a lot of the games in general are moving towards like the seasons and like the passes.
Yeah, it's like games as a service. I think is the
Yeah.
term people
Do you
use.
like that or not?
I think for free games it works really well. Rocket League is a paid game, and I'm not really too sure I like that. Though I will admit it is number one. You get a free tier so that you still unlock things
Yes.
while you play, and it is optional. It doesn't afford any or give you any performance like enhancements. It's just to look a certain way. So I think in that kind of way, it's better than a just straight up DLC packs. I know some people don't like the idea that you can't just choose what to buy though. So
yeah.
How do you feel about what they did with the crates, where you have blueprints now and you have to use credits that you buy with
Really?
real world money?
Oh.
That you can only earn them in the premium
yeah, see
Rocket Pass.
that kind of stuff.
You can't unlock keys now.
Nope, the keys and all that are gone. All
Oh,
crates, all the crates were converted to blueprints, and they have a shop now where they have like a different like selection of items that you can buy with credits.
Is that kind of like the CS:GO's crates where you have to buy a key for them, or is that
So that's what it used to be.
where it used to be?
Yeah, but now they have it to where they'll have like the shop, and they'll say for the next 5 hours you have these items, and like, oh, this one is like the high quality like black market item, but it costs like 2,000 credits. How do you get credits? You have to buy them with real money. You can only earn them through the premium Rocket Pass, which you also have to pay money for anyways. So you can either buy them straight up,
But
or
do you know what that item is though? Instead
yeah,
of,
you
like-
know what the item is. So it's not like a chance where you open a crate and you might just get a rare.
I don't really like the crate system. Like I don't like having the chance to just get nothing, like crap.
I honestly would
So-
prefer the credit system if you could earn them in game.
Yeah, that would. I mean,
But they
definitely. I don't like the credits. The idea of a credit system doesn't really make sense because it's just a buffer between real money and
Yes.
the thing you want to
Yeah.
buy. And usually, the only thing it does is make you spend more money
Yeah.
so that you
Yes.
have more credits than you need.
That's the
It
point.
doesn't make
That's the
sense.
reason.
yeah,
You have it.
I mean it is about making a
'Cause
profit.
If you have in-game credits but you can't earn them in-game, all it does is make it harder for you to get the one thing that you want. So, doesn't really make much sense to me.
I think it's weird to have those like when you've already paid for the game.
Yeah.
How much is
Like
the
you
game now?
said, like-
Is it still $20?
It's probably still $20.
Yeah.
$15, $20.
Actually, it went on
Yeah.
sale.
$20.
It was on
did.
sale for.
Like a
I
few
thought they
weeks
were.
ago.
I thought they were trying to
$9.99?
transition to a free to play. I thought they were transitioning to that, but I don't think they have yet.
Because they
Yeah.
probably could do that with that microtransaction thing. Because a lot
Yeah.
of games have
I mean,
like
the
that's why
Battle Pass
Fortnite
systems are
releases all
really-
their skins, and that's how they make their
I
money.
mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, though, like all that stuff is just cosmetics. It doesn't really offer an
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like you should like allow people to earn the credits through playing the game, even if it takes like an extraordinarily long amount of time.
Yeah.
They did that. EA made the mistake of doing the microtransactions, and now that whole Star Wars Battlefront 2 is like you solely just earn them every day. Like I know they
Yeah.
give you
Yeah.
crates every day. It just gives you the credits to be able to purchase the
Yeah, there's a
cosmetics.
lot
Like
of-
you don't have to pay anything because the game originally was like I think it was a $60 title,
It was
so
a
it's like
full price. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was now it's on Origin. I think it's like $8 or something like that. So now they're just now they're offering just like that type of system where it's just kind of like they want to completely remove all microtransactions.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of stupid to pay for cosmetics instead of earning them.
Yeah. But overall, I do think the Battle Pass system, that kind of system, is a really good like way to prop up free games and stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
a really like Fortnite is extremely popular and it's a good game and you can just get it for free. And I think that kind of thing is just
Yeah.
it's really nice.
And
I guess.
the thing is also like you pay for the premium pass, and then you actually have to go through the levels.
Yeah.
So it like incentivizes you to play more because like, oh, I want this, but it's at level 30. So then you play till you get to that tier or that level.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah,
also
well-
kind of doing that type of thing where there's free things now in the game. Like
Yeah.
I heard at this Christmas thing, it's like even if you're just a default player with not the battle pass or anything,
Yeah.
they're giving you like a
2 free skins.
2 free skins for like no purchase at all. So if you're like that type of person, it's like I don't care about the battle pass, but then you play during Christmas, they're gonna award you all these free things and you don't even
Yeah.
have to pay for them.
All right, welcome back. Last touches on that topic. I think my favorite thing about that system is that you can, at a later time, choose to buy the Battle Pass. Like, if you get to Tier 100 and you say, okay, I've unlocked everything, then you can buy it.
Yeah,
And
I do
think-
like that.
I think that just kind of, like, it incentivizes you to play, but also it doesn't make you feel obligated, like, oh, I already paid for this and now I have to go through and just grind
Yeah.
to get this. So if you're not having fun in the game, you can just say, okay, I'm done with it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what you're getting is the crux of the situation, and it's much better in my opinion than loot crates and what is essentially just gambling for an item that you may not get.
They also offer you to pay for it too.
Yeah,
Like some games are just offering to like you can pay this amount of money to get to this certain tier and then you can stop.
That's
Yeah.
Fortnite, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
really, did they add that?
Yeah, where you can buy tiers.
Oh,
Yeah.
or was that always like that?
That was always
That's
like
always
that.
a
It's like where you could. I think
dollar
it's like
50 per tier.
150 of their currency. I think it's V-Bucks, the
Yeah.
currency that you can just buy. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I
Is
would
it
like to know
100?
the number. I would like to know the exact number of how much you would actually have to pay for
I was
everything.
about to say.
It's
So
it's $1.50 times 100.
The only thing
plus whatever you pay for the battle pass.
okay, so
The only thing I like about the V-Bucks system, and I guess the currency system, is that you can unlock those while you play the Battle Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Fortnite has worked, I don't know if it still does this, but you get enough of those V-Bucks while you play through the Battle Pass that you can unlock the next one without paying for it. And that was the only reason I had played, I think, for like 3 seasons or so, is because I could just pay for the next one. Like the only reason I bought the Battle Pass for like 3 seasons.
okay.
So.
Okay, so I guess we'll be moving on to something that's vastly different, which is going to be the current events.
Current events.
So just 2 big ones, really.
Smoking.
Oh my gosh.
No smoking. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
one. They've switched the minimum age, the federal minimum age to purchase cigarettes and other tobacco products to 21
Yeah.
instead of 18. You know,
Does
up there
that-
with alcohol now in America.
Which is, I think that's really interesting. It
I
just
do
seems
too.
like, I mean, how long had the age been at 18?
I do not know. It had to have been for decades, I would say, at the very
Yeah.
I think
least.
that occurred just because of the amount of what is it, deaths of like 18-year-olds doing those specific.
So, I read a CNN article, and if I can find it, we'll link it into the description. But basically, they tacked on that raising the age to a bunch of must-pass bills that would prevent the government from shutting down. So this was like funding and everything, and they kind of just tacked it on, saying like, "Hey, this isn't this is going to be passed with this or the government shutting down again. So they kind of just like forced it on there.
I mean, it kind of felt that way because it came out of nowhere.
I didn't even know about it.
I saw it on Reddit a few times. They were like, this thing's getting passed, and they were like, dang. And, everybody's going to be mad because once you're 18, you're supposed to be an adult, but you can't purchase these couple things, and people get in trouble all the time for it.
See, it was so weird. It like they essentially earmarked it on stuff that was like completely like unrelated.
And you'd think that's a huge thing, but
it happens all the time in the government and politics.
Not the bill being added, but more that changing the age.
Yeah, and it's like that was so little backlash almost. Like there was not like a big uproar about it or anything.
I wouldn't say it just came out of nowhere because just a few months ago there was all that talk about the e-cigarettes.
Yeah, it was like there was like talk about it, but there wasn't like any like government like saying like, hey, we're gonna work on fixing this. They were pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's really strange. I think it's just kind of came out of nowhere, and then it was like, boom, now it's 21, and I guess it's just kind of like indicative of how many people are consuming tobacco products at that age now. I know it's a lot less than it used to be, and I think it's been dropping pretty steadily.
Yeah, it was dropping until vapes and Juuls came out.
I guess the question is if those are considered tobacco products, because most of them just have nicotine.
Nicotine, not. I feel like a lot of people.
I think they are. They are considered though.
Are they
like,
under the same legislation?
Was e-cigarettes and stuff were also banned until you're 21.
I mean, I know there's like my sisters are in middle school, and there's like tons of people like in their classes like with e-cigarettes and stuff.
Well,
almost every time I go into the bathroom at our school, there's somebody doing
it. Well, the big disclaimer here is that we live in Kentucky, where everybody smokes.
Everyone packs jaw.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to pack
Tobacco is
jaw.
really big in
that's
state.
And that's interesting because Mitch McConnell was a supporter, specifically for the raising the age. And Kentucky, like a lot of people grow tobacco here, so I wonder like if he realized, like
that's
obviously he knew
off
that
now though.
Yeah. Really,
because tobacco like products are kind of dying off.
Yeah,
tobacco products have been falling off heavy for a while, and I'm pretty sure. I'm not entirely sure about this, but I'm pretty sure they have been like almost subsidizing the tobacco farmers for a while.
I mean, the government's been subsidizing farmers.
Yeah, farmers in general, but especially tobacco in Kentucky because they just haven't been selling as much.
See, and like the thing with Kentucky is like we have like one of the like largest rates for like lung cancer and stuff. So like honestly, I think it's like good. I don't think I'm conflicted. Like I think the age, I don't know why it was raised, but it's like it's good that they're doing something, but I don't think that this was the something they should be doing.
I on one side of it, I think at 18 you should just be an adult and be able to drink and smoke and do whatever, especially if you're going to go like join the military.
That's what I was saying. It's like you can still like volunteer or get drafted into like fighting and like getting yourself maimed or dying for this country, but then you can't come back and then like smoke or drink until like 3 years afterwards. And that's like really weird that, or I don't know if it's weird, but it's like it just shows like we're just resources really.
On the other hand, I understand that smoking is not a good thing to do for anybody really.
Yes.
And I understand that changing the age from 18 to 21 will probably be more effective at keeping it out of high schools.
Well, I don't know about that though, because I mean it's like
if you want it, you're gonna get it if your family supports you or whatever. But you're not gonna be able to go up to some random 18-year-old senior and say, "Hey, get me some cigarettes." It's got to be it's gonna be a little bit harder. Alcohol isn't as widespread, I don't think. Like usually it's gatherings and get-togethers. People will be like, "Hey, give me some alcohol," and they know like one person who can buy it, and then that goes on, or they know their parents. You know what I mean? Like,
and the thing with it is like. With like cigarettes and stuff, like you get addicted and then you have to continuously buy them. But like, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of like high school and college age students that drink a little bit too much, bordering on alcoholism. But at the same time, like they don't do it as often as you would with smoking, unless you're like severely alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean, smoking's I would say much more addictive, but I don't know for sure. I don't have any studies or whatever saying anything, but I'm pretty sure nicotine is one of the most addictive substances.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if they're saying it's solely because it's an addictive substance, I mean, they allow caffeine and everything, and, like, you can purchase that before you're even 18, so, I mean, I don't know, like...
Yeah.
Can you get addicted to caffeine?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if everyone...
I don't know if it's as bad.
It's not as bad, but you always know the people that are like, I need my morning coffee to function.
Yeah. I mean, I've probably been addicted to caffeine at some point, but I usually just stop. It's like it'll like give you a headache or whatever. You'll feel tired for like a week, and then it's like all right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's on the same magnitude as a nicotine addiction.
Yeah.
So.
And then the other big one was the president's impeachment.
Yeah. I forget what the impeachment was for. It was for was it obstruction of justice?
Obstruction
and
of justice and lying to Congress.
Probably.
Perjury, maybe.
Perjury. I don't remember if it was perjury or not. And I think they were still investigating on other fronts.
They were investigating. Yes. They had the vote in the House. He is impeached.
Yes.
That's what the vote is for.
The Senate will not unseat him though.
Oh, really? Why do you think that? I mean, the Senate is majority Republican, and everyone's voting mostly on political, like, party lines, except for there was...
didn't it just barely pass in the House? Like, wasn't it like... I mean, not just barely, but like...
I think it was kind of good enough.
It was voted...
It was majority.
It was voted on party lines. There was
Yeah.
more Democrats than Republicans, so it was going to pass, except two Democrats.
Two Democrats flipped, and then one said no, or
No,
they
one
voted
said present.
Yeah,
Who was it? Was that...
it was
the one
Elizabeth, right?
It was... No, it was...
What's her name?
Was it Tulsi Gabbard?
Is it whoever's
Run up.
Tulsi
running
Tulsi
for
Gabbard is
president,
running.
right?
Yeah, it was one who voted present for the impeachment.
Yeah.
But it was, she was like, I'm pretty sure it was the presidential candidate, and she was like all about like, hey, we're gonna like, impeach him.
It
and
was Tulsi Gabbard.
that's what I thought, and that's why everyone's like hating on her now, is because she like hyped this all up, and then she voted present, so she basically just like abstained.
It was really interesting too, because her reasoning was, she said, I fully believe Donald Trump is guilty, but I don't want it to just be a vote on party lines. So she voted present, which is, it's very strange to say, I don't want to vote on this on party lines, and then specifically tailor your vote around not voting on party lines.
So then, like, just vote on moral.
Yeah, like
lines.
if you believe him to be guilty,
If you
of
think
this,
he's guilty, then you
actually
vote that. Just
vote
because
for
you
it.
have a label attached to it. Like, honestly, like, we could have, like, a whole entire, like, discussion about, like, the politics in America. But just in general, like, there were two Democrats that said no to the impeachment, but one of them switched to Republican, like, the day afterwards. So, like, they'll always be able to champion,
someone
like...
from New Jersey or something.
Yeah, they'll always be able to champion, like, hey, it was, like, a bipartisan vote that said, like, no, he's not guilty, but, like... Essentially, it was just a party line vote.
I know a lot of people were saying she might have done this to avoid like losing voters,
And then
in
she
some
lost
way.
all the voters pretty much.
Yeah.
Everyone like is hating on her now, like
Yeah, there's like nobody like that.
because you have to like in our
Like raw
present
option.
state of politics, you have to choose a side essentially, and she decided not to. And like even though that decision was still wrong, like
Yeah.
it was.
You have to at least stake your lines, and I feel like the people who think Trump is guilty of this, whether or not he is or not, that's not what I want to get into, but the people who are voting for that aren't going to want to see somebody like just flip on it and stop. And then on the other hand, everybody else who thinks it's a witch hunt or whatever, they're not going to want to see this person who's been championing it, and the person who came out and said, I think he is guilty, but they're not going to vote for that either.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make much sense either way.
Yeah, I'm back. So as you were saying before,
Yeah, I was just saying it doesn't make sense. If she's trying to appeal to both voter pools, I don't think any of her actions really...
by trying to appeal to both, she appealed to neither, really. And
I mean, what was she polling at before anyway? 'Cause
I
she's
couldn't
pretty
tell you
low,
the
wasn't
exact
she?
numbers, but
She wasn't like there's like low. I'd say there's low, mid, and high, and she's probably mid.
Mid? Okay.
Yeah.
Is she like around like Andrew Wang maybe, or lower? than
Andrew
that?
Wang.
Hey, what's
Andrew
his name?
Yang
Yang.
Gang.
Gang gang.
Yang. I don't really keep up with.
Wang.
The
That's the only
primary
thing I
votes
keep up
right
with
now.
is like who's running it.
Yeah,
So-
I come into it a little bit later usually because
Yeah.
it's just kind of always ongoing, and I like to get a good summary before I make
Yeah.
my decisions anyway.
Yeah, and especially when people like Tulsi Gabbard just like make some random play
Yeah.
that just kind of like ruins.
Like if I was following Tulsi Gabbard, I probably would not be now.
and that's what a lot of people have done now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we're gonna transition into.
Well, we didn't talk about the Senate and their role in the
Well,
impeachment.
that was one thing I was at. Okay, so the impeachment part, you have to get majority in the House, right?
Majority in the House.
So okay, and then Senate you have to get 2/3 vote, right?
Is that what it is?
I think it's 2/3 vote. I'm pretty
I've
sure.
seen a lot of different.
So I'm
things.
saying if they barely got majority in the House and like the Senate is more Republican, then like
He's not going to be convicted if people vote on party lines like they did in the House. If that's what
yeah.
you're asking.
The
Yeah,
big
it's
question is
Two-thirds.
well,
Right.
2/3.
How many? Look up at the.
I'm saying it's pretty unlikely,
It's
and
pretty-
I think it's more.
Look up
I
how
honestly
many
don't believe that a
Democrats
lot of people
are
think
in the
it.
Senate
That's,
right
well,
now.
I guess we're getting.
Like just look up like the Senate.
I think that it's more of like a, I don't know what you call it, but just trying to make Trump look bad. I don't know.
That's what you think it is?
I think that's what the majority like.
People
I'm not
think
saying it
that's,
like
that's
he's
what you
like-
think
I can agree
the
with that.
overall idea of
Yeah, I think
the people
that's-
is.
That's like the main reasoning behind it.
You don't
And
think
that's why
that-
it's a party line thing.
Do you think the general populace agrees with it? Because there's like
No, I don't.
there's studies that say like over 50% say he
Really?
should be impeached. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe.
I mean,
but
I
I
think-
don't.
Like there's surveys that say like a lot of people agree with it, but like obviously those are just like select
Yeah.
populations.
The surveys also said Hillary is going to win. So
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, she won the popular vote.
you're not wrong. So, but I think the big thing is that is essentially the Republicans' defense of it is just that it is to make Trump look bad, which I feel like there's a little bit more to it than that.
I mean,
at
let's
the very
be
least.
real.
But,
Trump
the
makes him.
Senate-
I don't. I just hate politics because everyone is just
Yeah.
like has their own like selfish agenda, and so like it
definitely.
makes me think that like anything they do is just
Yeah,
Well,
it just
their own
makes
game.
Majority is liberal though.
it's
it makes you
There's 53
Paranoid.
Republicans and 47 Democrats
yes.
in the Senate. right
Yeah, and you need 2/3. So
Yeah.
The one thing I
Yeah.
did see was that they were speculating. I don't know who. Probably nobody that has any idea what they're talking about. But they were saying that possibly an anonymous vote might bring the ratio up because I think at this point, voting on party lines is just because you are that party and you have to show that you
Yeah.
are in support of this party at all times. It almost seems like in today's politics at least, going against what your party thinks just kind of extradites you. Like everybody will just
See,
dislike you for that.
politics is like it's like almost
And it
turned into like team.
yeah.
It's like a team.
It shouldn't be a team thing, and it should just be up to the.
It should be like
individuals.
what helps the country,
Yeah.
and you can have different
Well,
viewpoints on.
It's split between like two people, liberal and conservative.
And that's
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's
Well-
like because like you can think on one issue that is like one of the party stereotypes, and then on another issue you think something that's different on the other party stereotypes, and like I don't think people should label themselves as Democrat or Republican or anything like that because you're more than that. Really, you have viewpoints. You have like your
Yeah.
views, and they shouldn't align with just one party. I mean, it's possible they can, but for most people.
I've always been curious whether it is the majority group, like a majority of a group is what, like their views is what affects the views of a party, or if it's the views of the party that affects the views of the people that try and, consider themselves a member of that party.
I feel like it would be the
Like-
party affects the views of the people.
that's
I
what
feel
I
like you come in with a few issues
Yeah.
that you agree with them with, and then they're like, oh, well, you have to fall in with our other viewpoints.
Yeah.
And this is on both sides, too. This
Definitely.
isn't just a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. Like, generally, if you consider yourself a Democrat, more often than not, like, they're going to, like, the people that are within the party that are super involved are going to say you have to support them on every single issue.
Yeah,
Because,
and-
like I said, it's a team thing.
And that's the downfall of a two-party system, I think. Like, especially anytime you see a argument between, maybe a conservative and a liberal or a Democrat, whatever, Republican, you notice that they tend to go after, they make, I guess, a straw man of the worst of the other side.
Yes,
They
yeah.
say this person is, and they list off the worst ideas that they have about what a Democrat or liberal is, for example, and then they say that is what all of them are.
Yeah, and
use that to discredit anything.
Yeah, they call like Democrats
Yeah.
and liberals like baby killers and everything like
Yeah,
that, and
and-
like soy boys and everything, and then they call Republicans and conservatives like racists and sexist and like xenophobes and everything.
It really just removes all semblance of a
Like
actual
like the ability to
conversation.
like have a conversation and compromise when you're just insulting the other because it's a team.
Yeah.
It's just teams. You're insulting the other team when really it's about working together rather than working to like advance your own party. You should be working to like advance the country.
Yeah.
But that's just the state of politics because we have a two-party system.
Liberals are also kind of going to the extent of saying that all white men are bad.
Yeah, there's extremists.
That's the thing. It's like they're the
party.
extremists.
Yeah.
Majority of people aren't like that, and like anytime you meet like a liberal or Democrat, more often than not, they're just gonna.
What I kind of look at it as is like what like the liberals are kind of like accepting of all the different cultures and stuff coming in, and it's like I just kind of think of that like some of the bad things that have happened in this country due to like other ethnicities and stuff coming in. I just kind of believe that that's kind of like wrong.
Welcome back, everyone. We've had some issues.
We had a false start a second ago because I don't know how to talk, but
Essentially, we'll summarize what we're saying is this: the parties like to be inflammatory to the other parties, and this is usually the hardliners. Most people aren't like that, but the people that have the most extreme views are the ones that have the biggest mouths generally. And it's the same with the media. It's like they have to be inflammatory on purpose so they can get views, and they can also have those hardliners. So
overall, we're just trying to. We're not really picking sides here. This isn't a political podcast. We aren't really going to talk about politics all that much. But I think in this is a really big event.
Yeah. This is a big event. Yeah. The impeachment, this is the third time in history. In American history that a president has been impeached. I believe the others were Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton.
Yeah. And Bill Clinton, what happened with that? I know he was disbarred.
He was impeached, but he wasn't convicted.
He was impeached of perjury, and he was disbarred because that is bad. For a lawyer.
Yeah, but he wasn't convicted or anything. Like they voted saying like, "Hey, no, like he's acquitted."
Yeah,
and that's probably
just perjury. Which I mean, saying just perjury is probably bad, but over the situation that
it was really weird how he defended himself. Stupid. He's like, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman." And he's like, I had to define like sexual relations. Like I didn't do anything to her. So it's kind of like that. He was just trying to get off on like a technicality. Yeah. But like still, he was acquitted because I believe the Senate was majority Democrat, and so they voted to acquit him, and it's most likely going to be the same thing with the Senate now with Donald Trump. Yeah.
And I mean, compared to today's situation, I think today's accusations are much more severe than just lying about an affair.
I mean, obstruction of justice, I believe, was it, and like, just lying about an affair. Like, obviously, you shouldn't be lying at all, like perjury
or having affairs.
Or having affairs.
I mean,
that's your own business.
That's your own
as
business.
Much as
obviously,
people will not like it.
Like that's a more moral thing.
Shouldn't be brought into politics at this point.
But like obviously, like that's between him and his wife.
True.
But he lied about it, and it had an effect. So that's why he was impeached. But of course, he was acquitted. And it's gonna go the same way with Donald Trump if everyone votes on party lines. So I think honestly, more than
was Nixon impeached? He wasn't. Right?
He was going to be, but then he resigned. He resigned.
And then, who was the first one to be impeached? Because it was someone...
Andrew Johnson.
Ago. Was it Andrew Johnson?
Yeah. Okay. I think they tried with Andrew Jackson. I don't know. He was a pretty inflammatory character regardless.
He did a lot to raise the power of the president, right?
Yeah, he did a lot.
Because he basically just didn't listen to anything Congress said.
Trail of Tears. The Trail of Tears. He's on the $20 bill, but he was like...
I'm actually surprised that he's like still in the
Wasn't he getting replaced by Harriet Tubman or something?
That was killed, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, that was killed.
How long ago was that?
That was like 2016.
Okay.
I remember in the run-up to the election because I was looking at it and I was like, huh.
Yeah, I believe that was killed. Mm-hmm. So, let's transition to something a little more lighthearted.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I will preface this by saying I've never seen a Star Wars movie.
I haven't seen the new one.
Colin's seen it twice, so it makes up for the other two.
The new one. Yeah.
What is the new one's title?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker? So, who's a big Star Wars fan?
You've seen it, right?
Yeah. You're a big Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
To start this off, we're not doing spoilers, right? Or as much as we
I can't spoil it.
Well, I feel like
we can briefly explain.
Or should we do like
I don't want to spoil something.
When did it come out?
Do a spoiler.
It came out
just in case.
We should do. We're gonna do spoiler free.
It came out on the 20th.
We're gonna talk
spoiler free. Talk about like the production and stuff like.
No, we can't talk. I got.
You have to spoil it to be able to kind of.
So we're just gonna have a spoiler.
We're gonna have to put something on the screen to jump to the timestamp after we talk about this.
But there are gonna be some spoilers for Rise of Skywalker. So if you haven't seen that yet. And you don't want that to be spoiled.
Just to let you know, if you're deaf, but like spoilers, like right here, spoilers,
subtitles,
also spoilers.
No, we have auto
so like if you like complain like, hey, they spoiled it. I told you.
He did tell me.
Not like you could hear it, but
so
if you're deaf,
I don't know sign language, but like spoilers.
So I saw it with Chris, so I already talked about it. But what did you think, Andre?
I thought it was about an 8 out of a 10 on it. Disney to me is just doing an awful job handling the license. Like they're good, but like just my number one concern of the whole franchise now is how they made and developed Luke Skywalker after the Return of the Jedi, because it's kind of like the best version of Luke Skywalker that has come out since Disney has gained rights to Star Wars was the Luke Skywalker from Battlefront 2. He was very mellow and very kind of like with the Force and very kind of like... And then the movies that Disney has put out has made Luke more of a disgusting and like whining, and he's essentially like a gigantic crybaby about... And he's not cool anymore. Yeah. And kind of like watching this next movie was kind of like... It was very disappointing to see some of the choices that they made throughout the film. Like, I just never got a connection with like how they depicted the original trilogy characters, because they made them very like a side story compared to like the main characters, when I believe that the original trilogy should have been more into these new movies. Yeah. And they're also kind of making like stupid choices, I would say, like Luke dying, that was not good. That was horrible. Just the way that he did things, like my main concern again is just how they depicted Luke Skywalker. He's just the worst. They made him very bad in these movies.
So
I don't know. I thought I liked that they put the original like characters, like they made them like side characters. I like that. Like they brought in like new.
Well, like the one concern of The Last Jedi was like, for example, when Luke Skywalker was supposed to be the character that was supposed to give kind of Kylo Ren a piece of his mind, but in The Last Jedi he didn't do that. Essentially, like it's like he uses a Force ghost of himself to fight Kylo Ren, and then he sits on this planet and looks like he's crapping himself to use this Force thing. And then Kylo Ren is kind of like, I'm not actually fighting you. He's a Force
like,
ghost with the inclusion that he's using Luke's Empire Strikes Back lightsaber that was lost on Cloud City due to his hand being cut off by Darth Vader. So it's kind of like, where did the blue lightsaber come from? How did this lady in the new Force Awakens movies, in the new trilogy, how did she get this lightsaber? Because it fell down a gigantic shaft on Bespin, which makes no sense why the blue one still exists.
I need clarification. Like, so this newest movie, where is it set in the universe? Like, chronologically?
I think it's about 35 years into the future.
So, like, chronologically...
So 35 years after Return of the Jedi.
So first the original trilogy came out.
Yes.
And then there was the prequels.
Which came out afterwards, but they were before.
They were before that.
Yeah, I know that.
This is like 30 years
So this is like the newest thing. Like, this is like the last... Okay.
Yeah, this is the last of the Skywalker
So, like, everything
saga.
that's happened in the universe has been beforehand.
Yes.
And I completely agree with a lot of what Andre said. I think when people want new stuff from this, this IP, this property, the franchise, they wanted something that kind of held the spirit of the older ones while not really detracting from them. And I think too much like detraction happened. Like I believe it is 8th movie was just trash. It was just bad.
What was the title of it?
That was
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. That was the one where Luke just like disappeared. And I think
it's like you kind of wanted to like the Last Jedi was a good movie, but like things that were in place and that were developed in that movie were just utter garbage. Like you would want to see the actual Luke Skywalker fight Kylo Ren. Like I wish that would actually happen, but he didn't do any. There was no lightsaber battle. Luke in these next movies, Luke did not lightsaber battle at all.
So would you say it's like an enjoyable movie if like you've like never seen them before, but if like you're invested into the lore and everything?
If you're really like a hardcore fan of the films, you're not gonna like the next three. Yeah. The prequels, I honestly thought if I could put this, I would. This is gonna upset a few people, but I would put Attack of the Clones in front of The Last Jedi. It was that bad to me. And Attack of the Clones is one of the worst Star Wars movies that existed.
I mean, the thing the prequels did right is they added a lot of interesting fights and a lot of interesting backstory to the Jedi. Some things people didn't like. I understand that. It's been a long time since then, so I can't really get into the mindset of somebody who had seen the original trilogy and then the prequel trilogy, because we're kind of in that mindset now where we've seen those and are seeing a new one. I just think it was just too disjointed overall, this new trilogy.
I think that was part due because of like the change of directors, and also that they didn't start with like a set story, and like they just went along as they went.
They also kind of made the They also made the original trilogy characters appear in very obscure places. Like, Leia still stayed as a rebel leader. Han Solo somehow was in some sort of a problem that got the Millennium Falcon stolen like 5+ times, and then he finally gets back to it. Luke Skywalker is a crybaby that's drinking blue milk and is crying about the Force the whole time. C-3PO is with Leia. R2-D2 is shut down for the entire first movie.
Yeah.
And who is it? Lando is on some sort of a alien desert planet of a bunch of maids.
Yeah.
The planet that he's found on has a bunch of maids. They're literally the same maids that are in the last Jedi.
All right, welcome back. Like we were talking about, I just believe the 8th movie is just probably the worst thing they could have put out.
I agree. I fell asleep during watching it in the theaters.
What was the newest Star Wars? What number is that?
9.
Nine. Okay.
So, I mean, a big thing is that they do so much off screen. Because when you leave Luke and them, they're hanging out with these weird little teddy bear creatures. But
Ewoks?
I feel like,
Cool,
I feel like you wanted to see more of Luke in his prime, which you didn't get. You just
the
kind
only
of got
the best
old man.
the best version of him was in Battlefront 2. Like, if you watch the cutscenes and how he is and his mentality and how he acts is the right version of Luke Skywalker compared to the one that they've put in this movie.
In Battlefront 2, that's a game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played through that and I was like, this is a perfect Battlefront 2 is a perfect continuation of Star Wars. That was the best one after Return of the Jedi.
The thing is, though, is that all of the problems you're saying, it just means that they weren't the focus of the movie. But it's kind of like Star Wars itself is built on these first 3 movies that came out in 1977. Like, the first movie, A New Hope, in 1977, that was the spark of this entire fandom or whatever. So, and they're not giving Disney is not giving the original characters enough. Like for people that are I don't know, 40 or 50 that have seen those movies and then are watching the continuation of these movies, it's kind of like even me loving the first 3 films that released, seeing for example the characters you have a true connection with, and then seeing them being depicted in these movies is complete, how Han Solo died in the first movie. I genuinely cried out of anger on how he died. I'm that devoted to the fandom, and it's I don't understand why they wanted to make all the characters. They made all the characters in these next movies that Disney released very weak looking, they weren't important when they need to be because they built the.
Would you say
Star
that
Wars.
the franchise should have been ended? Or
I would say Return of the Jedi.
With what we
Return
got,
of the Jedi is the best ending for Star Wars. I hate to say that.
Okay, yeah, that
with
leads
what
me
we
to
got, I think they should have. I think they should have planned it out way better than they did.
Yeah, see, I'm asking because it sounds like everyone's mad because the original characters aren't a really big part of the story anymore.
I think they didn't pass the torch very well.
Yeah.
They had the characters in there, but they didn't seem important. They didn't seem like they were helping out very much, and it seemed like they made a lot of mistakes that just kind of messed everything up. And that's not what you want these characters to be
Seen as,
because
essentially.
in the legacy of Episode 6, as it's called now. It just seems like they were on a good path, and when you come back, everything is just bad. Luke had, failed greatly as a master over, these people. When you left off in 6, he seemed like he was, calm and an actual Jedi. He had, a certain aura about him, I guess.
So it's almost like they kind of dropped the ball to advance a different storyline almost.
Yeah. It's almost like his character arc reversed.
So there was a continuity error almost. Is that what you're
What
thinking?
were you gonna say, Colin?
He didn't seem
so
the same person.
the Star Wars story is really all based around Anakin Skywalker, and so he turns to the dark side because of Palpatine, and so Palpatine is like Anakin Skywalker was it was prophesized to bring balance to the Force by ending off Palpatine, and so that's what the originals was him. The Return of the Jedi is him returning, and then to the Jedi, and you think that he ends Palpatine, but then in this new movie they just bring Palpatine back for no reason, and that just kills off the whole thing.
Darth Vader redemption.
Anakin Skywalker, he didn't bring balance to the Force.
Yeah.
But even in the new movie, they mentioned that he did. But See, didn't because
those are the two. Like if I'm kind of looking at it, those are the two. There's two huge problems in the new movies that they made. Luke's. I hate to say this and bring this up again, but Luke's blue lightsaber should not exist.
Biggest error.
That's the biggest error that they had.
That
And then Palpatine
back,
being blind and destroyed and hooked up to a gigantic machine to live is also wrong. Darth Vader's redemption doesn't exist. This little alien lady finds Luke with his hand, apparently, in a shaft somewhere. And then it's kind of like the Emperor uses his Force lightning and his power to suck the energy out of Rey and Kylo Ren to bring himself back to a normal state, and then is killed by Rey, a person who is learned the Force in like 30 minutes.
yeah.
Is told by Qui-Gon Jinn, Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker, Mace Windu, some of the characters from Rebels, Luke, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi, even the original Anakin Skywalker. They all are like having a connection with Rey, and Rey is depicted. Her parents, she's associated with Palpatine, but all these like she learns the Force in like literally, I would have to say this, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
She knows how to do everything that a master Jedi would know in the first movie in 30 minutes.
Honestly, I just feel like
I guess
Disney.
you have to if you find that lightsaber.
But I mean, it's
I
just
think what they did in this
yeah, she
movie
finds that lightsaber.
was
That's
that
how she got
they made the Force like a bigger thing. Like before, like, and I guess this was just like movie production, like their capabilities. But like before, like the original movies, like the Force was like a way to get your lightsaber back. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like now it's like a bigger thing, and I like that.
If you look at the original movie, a lightsaber battle was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. So
The only good part I did like about this new movie is that this is a spoiler, so I'm marking it right now. This is a spoiler, even if it is. But they bring back young Luke and young Leia in a scene where they're fighting, and they brought that back, and they did CGI to bring back young Luke and young Leia fighting, and then Leia fighting with her lightsaber. That was the only part of the movie I was like, that's pretty good.
I thought that was pretty cool, but it's off screen and it's in the last movie. Like they didn't bring up Leia having any like actual knowledge of a Jedi until right now, and I was like, what? The heck?
The only thing you referenced in the Last Jedi is that's what makes Luke like get mad at Darth Vader and literally destroy him and cut his own hand off again, is when he states that there was another Jedi and he's talking about Leia, and that's when Luke snaps and is like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of Darth Vader.
It just seems like they did too much off screen. I don't know. If they wanted to mention some of it, it would have been useful earlier on, so that you can actually set up, because like the entire time you're kind of wondering like what happened in this time that just made everything fall apart. I guess how did this new order?
I know that throughout the books, I'm pretty sure that Luke basically was like what Cullen was saying. It was kind of like Luke basically, he went on to like a few more journeys with Leia in training, and then after that he wanted to start a new Jedi like order thing and like teach them. But then I'm pretty sure Kylo Ren, see that this is the thing that also makes me mad. Han Solo's kid is automatically bad. He automatically has a very deep connection with the dark side, which makes no sense because it's Han Solo and Princess Leia. So it's like kind of like, where did he go to the dark side?
The thing that turned him was Luke.
Yeah,
like that scene where Luke was like, I see like
he said
him turning to the dark side, and so he tried to kill him, and that's what sent Kylo
Luke
to the dark side.
That's also the last scene where you see Luke's green saber.
Yeah,
that saber doesn't exist anymore either.
Yeah, well, he probably just threw it away or something.
I think it was like rubble. I think it literally because Kylo Ren forces him out of that hut, and he goes flying, and his saber.
What age was Kylo Ren when he tried to kill him?
He was like probably I would say he was like 18, 17.
Oh, I thought he was
like 30 something in the movies.
I thought he was like a newborn. He was like, I gotta kill this kid.
Well, I will say that Kylo Ren was probably my favorite character.
Yeah, Kylo Ren was probably the best character out of these.
They did a good job with him, I thought.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
He's also pretty yoked.
Is that like the picture with him his shirt off and his like chest is as big as? No, I know it's him. Like he's as big as a wall.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just feel like Disney's kind of retconned the series and used it to like force its new characters.
The books were written better than these new movies.
What do you guys think of like the new characters, like Rey and
Finn? Rey and Kylo Ren, I really liked. Finn, I think that they missed a lot of potential there. Like he was literally turned from like a stormtrooper, and like they missed this really good thing that they could have done where he could have went and turned more stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Like that. Like it. Like built. Like that's how it should have went. Like that's how they like set it up and then like didn't.
What caused him to like?
He just
got tired of it.
Yeah.
No. He was on the battle of.
He was on a planet and they were told.
Yeah.
They were told to like eliminate like these like,
innocent
civilians.
people, and he was just like, I don't
But
want to do that.
Isn't like the lore like they like brainwash or like they do like some genetic malfunction?
No, they
take them from like birth.
Yeah.
And then like
They
just,
now
like, train them.
but originally in the
North Korea.
Rebels they were clones.
Oh,
They were
really?
just clones of the same person, but now they just for some reason all of a sudden they want to
Yeah,
switch
when
the
did
lore.
they?
Well,
When
I
did they
think-
switch?
I think they didn't
I
have the
forget.
people like because it was what is it, Camino?
That's why I never. That's why I
Yeah,
never.
Camino was the cloning like facility or planet or whatever, but I don't think they have that anymore. I think the idea was that's like how the army, like the clone army, like rose up or whatever in the prequels, I guess. But
Yeah, Order 66 was the
yeah,
change.
but I don't think they had that supply line. I think eventually they had to reach into like basically they just took over planets, took children, and then trained them as soldiers.
Nice.
So, I mean, I think we could go on and talk about Star Wars all day, but we should probably wrap it up here. And so, I just like to say that the prequels are the best out of all the trilogies. This new one's not very good, but if you're gonna watch Star Wars, you gotta watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I'd say that's the most enjoyable.
Is that the cartoon?
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah, but that
Animated
that
series.
opens up a lot more of like
Is that like canon?
questions you have. Yeah,
That's canon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rebels and
It's
the Clone Wars are
great.
canon.
I haven't got to Rebels yet. I'm rewatching the Clone Wars before I get to that.
All right, real quick. So where does Mandalorian fall in like the lore?
It's the best thing that Disney is.
Where's
That's
it?
7 years after Return of the Jedi, and that is the best thing that Disney's put out.
What do you think
By
about
far.
the new Star Wars game, like Fallen Order, like with Cal? Is that?
I don't
canon?
think it's canon very much.
It's not canon.
It's
I think it kind of references some like things, but I don't think it has very much of an effect.
I could spoil it right now. I don't know if y'all are gonna play it, but I
I'm
mean I
probably
know
gonna
it.
play it.
No, don't. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Spoil the movie, but not the game, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
so-
Well, yeah,
well, you guys agreed that we could spoil the movie. So.
the movie's 2 hours.
The viewer
the
didn't
game's
agree.
probably, like,
We just had
10,
spoilers.
20.
Okay, there's no spoilers for the new
Star
Jedi
Wars
Fallen
game.
Order.
Welcome back. We were just talking about Star Wars and the overall last movie that came out. So I think to close that, I would say this movie is much better than the last one that came out, Episode 8. I think there were some things that were strange about it, some things that I could complain about, but honestly, it's better than the last one, and that's all I really cared about.
Okay. So, you talked about The Mandalorian.
I did.
I've never seen that.
I haven't either.
Who's seen it?
I've seen it.
Is that complete? Like the first season?
Yeah,
of
the
that
first
stuff?
season. Done,
Sorry.
yeah.
Have you
Okay.
seen all of it?
Mm.
I'm about like halfway through. I didn't.
Yeah, I need to start watching it. I was waiting until it was done
So,
I can just
like,
watch
what's
it all.
the basic synopsis? So, like, without spoilers, like, what is the synopsis of it? Like,
It's basically a standalone story of like a. This isn't a spoiler, but it's like, it's a kid whose family has been killed by the Separatist army,
okay.
and he's basically out for redemption because the Mandalorians took him in.
Who are the
and
Mandalorians?
They are a group. They're like an army of like. They're outcasts.
Okay.
So they're like either stormtroopers who don't want to do anything with the Empire anymore. They're basically fighting for both ways. It's kind of like if the Jedi's are doing something wrong, they're gonna fight towards them. If the Empire's doing something wrong, they're gonna fight towards them. They're basically kind of like live on their own and
I was
do.
gonna say, are they like mercenaries? Are they like?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the perfect word for it.
Okay.
And they're like their own group.
Okay.
However, Jango Fett and Boba Fett are not Mandalorian. They have stolen Mandalorian armor.
That's what I was thinking.
They're not Mandalorian. They're not true Mandalorians. They're because they take their helmets off.
I mean,
True Mandalorians don't take their helmets off.
Mandalorian.
Do they eat?
It's a planet itself, right? It's a planet. Like it's its own people.
Yeah, Mandalore.
It was
That's
at
the
least,
actual
yeah.
planet. He wasn't, but the Mandalorian
was
wasn't
back
trained
in-
on Mandalore.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's where Baby Yoda coming from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's on that show a lot.
Is it actually Yoda, or is it just a random like?
It's a
It's not-
species.
it's
It's a
not
child of
Yoda.
his species.
Okay, so Yoda's not like the
It could
only
be
part-
Yoda's
That's the-
child.
Well, that's the only
That's
other.
how I read a thing about that.
That's
If
the
Yoda
only
and
other.
Yaddle got some
yeah.
action going.
What is Yoda? What is he?
I don't know.
He's
I
just-
don't know
we
what the
don't
name
know
of the
the
species is. I just
species.
know he's a specific
Yeah.
species in Star Wars. It's very rare.
Yeah,
All
like
I
we
know-
don't know this name of the species. That's why people call it Baby Yoda because
Yeah.
there's literally like nothing else.
There's
to call
only
it.
Yoda and him are the only two of the species
Yeah.
that we
And Yaddle.
And
Yaddle's in
Yaddle's
the
the
Jedi.
female.
That's what I was gonna
Yaddle
say.
was
So
a-
like, how
was a
did
It could
he?
be their
character.
child.
And where's Yaddle at? I don't.
Yaddle was in the prequels in the
Really?
she
And the
was in
Jedi ordered the Jedi.
the Jedi Council.
So
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm a little rusty on my prequel knowledge.
So, Baby Yoda is a pretty big meme.
Yes.
Yeah, just from the cuteness and everything, pretty much.
See, all the people that were like all about the Baby Yoda meme also hate like all the Facebook moms who like Minion memes.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh god, Baby Yoda, we should meme this into oblivion. And it's a big thing. People are like, this should be meme of the decade and everything.
Yeah. I think anytime a meme just gets too popular, it immediately like
becomes meme
off.
of the decade.
It becomes annoying. Really.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I prefer the older Yoda memes where he's like, I took a bunch of ketamine. And like, I like those, to be honest, more.
I think the Baby Yoda memes are like they're not too bad because there's enough scenes of Baby Yoda that it's not the same picture over and over.
That's what I like. There's a lot of different images of.
Yeah.
So, and it can be used in a lot of different ways. At least like they're not all the same joke. So, I think overall, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 meme.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
I haven't seen the Mandalorian, but I've seen the memes. So
speaking
all
of
that matters.
memes, what do you guys think the meme of the decade is going to be?
Is there is this just like a random is there a vote somewhere?
There's like a vote by
It's like
some guy or something.
It's essentially a meme.
Are there like options? Like,
well, that's the thing.
I mean,
Cause
is it like a write-in ballot or?
I don't know. What is your guys' favorite meme, basically?
I feel like all of the memes that people have been mentioning for meme of the decade have been very recent because nobody remembers memes. Like 2012 memes were like troll face.
Yeah, and people are like, those are so bad. So like,
I thought it was gonna be like the Doge meme.
Yeah, I feel like
I feel like the Doge is like the one that's because that's used a lot.
He stayed pretty relevant, I think.
Wow.
I mean, compared to like 2012 Rage comics and troll memes.
Not many people are into Bad Luck Brian anymore.
Yeah,
No.
so I think compared to that, they've stayed around. A lot more longevity.
Yeah.
So, I'm not really entirely sure what the meme of the decade would be. I mean, in 2012, going back to that, I think the troll face and those were like the dumb ones, whatever. But they stayed around for a long time compared to like the life cycle of a meme today, because there's like a week and then it's dead. So
yeah, I don't know what I would say the best meme is. It's like there's a lot I've liked. I can't really pick any single one. I mean, I've forgotten a lot of them before. I mean, I've been around like the whole entire decade, like on the internet, so I've like seen like the growth of them. And
the 2010 winning meme right now is the troll face. The 2011 one is the MLG. The 2012 one is the unsettled.
That's not from 2012.
That's not from 2012.
What
It's you know the picture of Tom from Tom and Jerry
where he has like that weird face, and it's like when you do something.
that was pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yes, that was not 2012.
Or did it come back?
2013 winning meme is the Doge.
I'm sorry, which
2014
website are
winning
you
meme is the.
Meme of the decade.net.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then 2014 is Pay After Rev. The
Press F to pay respects.
Yeah.
Was that from 2014?
That's probably the biggest.
Yeah,
I
because
think.
that
2015 is Pepe.
I would say.
I
would
think
say
that could be meme of the decade.
I would say
yes.
Press F to
That
pay
is
respects.
that's something that is just
That's like a
second
big,
nature now.
Yeah, a lot of people just say
2016
F and
is
stuff
the Robbie Rotten.
Yeah.
That originated from.
And then the 20.
Yeah, because you
What?
had to go up to a coffin
my
and
God.
press F.
I feel like the top three contenders are Pepe, Doge, and Press Up to Pay Respect.
I think
I don't think
F for
Pepe's
me
gonna
is the
win.
biggest.
2018 is Big
Because like
Chungus.
there was like that little stint where like the neo-Nazis and stuff and like
Yeah,
4chan
that's
and all
like
that.
this is my best friend.
And
He's
like
ours now.
and like even though there were some people joking, a lot of people actually used it for that reason. So I feel like the stigma behind it is gonna cause it to like not win, even though there are some pretty good Pepe.
That's the funny thing I think about a lot of like the trolling that those groups try to do. They're like, let's take this innocuous thing and just make it ours, and then we'll laugh at people who think that it means like white supremacy. But I think them taking it makes it mean that.
Pepe right now is winning apparently.
So it's kind of like they're
Big Chungus is in third? No way. No way. Who's voting on this? Can you vote right now? How do you vote? You have to sign in with Google. You're telling me 1,000 people signed in with Google to be like, this is gonna be
Big Chungus.
This is
the biggest chungus.
the biggest. I mean, that was pretty good, but then it went on too long.
These are the countries that have voted.
No, China.
We'll put this on the screen so y'all can see.
Is North Korea highlighted?
North Korea is. I don't think so.
Kim Jong-un voted.
For whatever reason, Greenland and Iceland have voted. So there's like one of the 50,000 people in Greenland was like, Big Chungus. I laughed super hard at that.
How many people live in Greenland?
Like 50,000.
Really?
I thought, yeah, it's not a lot of people.
50,000 people used to live
Right now,
here.
there's 8,954.
And now
votes.
it's a ghost town?
Greenland doesn't exist, actually.
Total memes,
Really?
159. Wow. Only 159 memes to wrap up the
What
decade.
was the one country that people thought didn't exist?
Finland
Yeah, Finland.
and New Zealand.
That
Yeah.
too.
That's because maps don't like to put New Zealand on
New
them.
Zealand's weird. Isn't it like above Australia or something?
It's like to the. I mean, I guess depending on how you look at it. If first off, the Earth isn't flat, it's a
Well-
globe. But like if you look at it from the west, or like you can go from like the east and be like, and all that. But like, it's like, if you're looking at it, it is to the east.
Okay.
Here comes the airplane.
So I mean,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, they just like don't put it on the map. I don't know if they forget about it or what, but like
Probably.
they just kind of ignore it. But like
Yeah.
if you're talking about like the meme Finland, people are like Finland doesn't exist.
Yeah. And birds don't exist.
Birds are spies for the bourgeoisie.
Birds are just spies for the government.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anytime I see a gigantic group of birds just like flying over, it's all cameras.
Yes.
All cameras, 100%.
Just government drones.
Speaking of that, what do you think about TikTok?
TikTok.
Hit or
TikTok.
miss.
Why did that
Um,
lead you to TikTok?
Yeah.
I feel
Because
like,
it's meme, and because like the guy, there's like the TikTok of the guy being like birds are for the bourgeoisie.
I feel like TikTok was producing some good memes for like a month, and then it just fell off.
I thought it was hilarious when TikTok first started out and everyone's like, ew,
Yeah,
we'll
they're
never
like, "Ew,
use
it's
this.
Vine again," and then they did it. They just kept using it.
Yeah.
It was like the Vince McMahon like meme where he's just kind of like looking around. He's like, oh, he loved it. Everyone hated it, and then they got on and they're like, hey,
This is pretty good.
this is pretty good. And then they just like started using it and made it their own. Like all the people that wanted to like meme it at first just got on to like be trolls to like the
Yeah.
people that were actually using it. And
I
then
think they got tired of it, and now it's just. I didn't really like the way they use it seriously, so at this point, it's just. It was kind of funny when people were like taking these serious videos and then making fun of them or whatever.
Yeah.
Just for like the humor of it, I guess. And
Would-
like some of the memes that came out of it were pretty funny.
Pretty
like,
good.
Hit or miss and the
Maybe Obi Tracer.
yeah, that one. Those were like big for like a month.
Which do you think was better, TikTok or Vine?
Vine. Vine all the way. TikTok has too many.
TikTok's
It's like
weird.
100% we all know you look at that.
No.
TikTok is
You like
like
the e-girls?
There's 100%
Maybe.
that you look at the e-girls.
He likes the Visco girls.
I like the
TikTok
Visco
is
girls.
just a bunch of people like talking over some kind of like media, essentially. Like they'll
I
just
think
pick
it's
a TV
hilarious.
show and they'll like pretend like
Uh-huh.
they're acting or something.
I genuinely
Yeah.
think it's hilarious to see people doing it because I've walked and got carts at my job, and it's like they're like there'd be people like sitting in their cars doing the TikToks, and you know they're doing it in slow motion because they're going like in their cars or whatever. Like typically it's like girls in the back seats of cars, so you never
Where
know
are you looking at people's cars for?
because like they have see-through windows.
And I mean, if you see someone in like slow motion, you probably
Yeah,
think they're having a
yeah.
stroke. And be like, hey, I
Yeah.
need to help this person.
Yeah, like Kaylee's little sister has TikTok
Oh.
and she just makes like dumb things.
See,
think.
I know a few people that I associate with at college that are trying to get TikTok famous, and I'm like, sorry to stop. And they're not doing it like for memes. They're doing it where they just like recreate dance videos.
Yeah,
Like so.
I don't.
I'd
I
say
don't know what
Vine,
it is.
you have to be more creative. than
Yeah.
TikTok.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So, last thing we were talking about was about how unoriginal TikTok is. But if you want originality, you should follow us. So, the future of what we're going to be doing, we're going to continue the Fiz Cast, but also we're going to expand into some gaming videos. I believe Cullen has been talking about some ultra hardcore Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, what's that?
Ultra Hardcore Minecraft was this old YouTube series, and it's basically just team-based Minecraft, like survival Minecraft, like kind of like a battle royale, which you can only live off of golden apples. So it kind of makes like the original Minecraft like game that you would play a little tougher, and you have to be a little bit more strategic. And so I think we could
And we're all about
put that
strategy.
together. Yeah.
Based on our Rocket League, which we will also
Yeah.
try to
Yeah.
record and post those videos as well.
We don't have Zach running into walls.
Yeah.
instead of the
Or
goal.
Cullen
Yeah.
scoring own goals, but
Yeah.
you know, you get to see all those when we actually play.
Yeah, we'll try to find a good setup for everything, and we're going to try and find some games that are interesting to play,
Yes.
and that we can kind of cut into segments. Things that will make good videos, essentially. We're still trying to figure out the channel, everything that's going on with it. We tried Spotify, but it turns out it's a lot harder than just uploading a audio file.
Yeah, we're going to make our own website. We have one. It just links to the YouTube right now.
www.fizkidz.com, I believe.
Yes, is the website. It will just take you to the YouTube. We're going to try to update it. We're going to have some more information in our videos. Essentially, we're going to try to get an RSS feed so we can have the podcast on Spotify. As of right now, it is not. But
sad to say,
but we have YouTube.
And while our website might not be up and running yet, we do have our Twitter, so make sure to check that out and leave a follow. Yeah, you can stay updated with when we are going to be filming our podcast, when they're going to be released.
And that's basically it. Probably gaming videos.
We're gonna get some videos out. We've been playing some gunfights. You know,
we may even expand into streaming if that's something that our viewers would be interested in.
And if we get good, internet.
If we get good internet. Yeah, rural Kentucky is not the best place for internet. Really wish we were sponsored by Cincinnati Bell Phi Optics, but not all of us are.
Yeah. Nothing really concrete as for a schedule. I know this podcast is probably going out like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks after.
It depends on our technician.
It depends on the editing, and it depends on just what happens.
I expect sooner than a week.
Yeah. For the next podcast, I guess it really just depends when we get around to recording and if there's anything to talk about. We have some local guests that might be lined up.
Some local superstars.
Local people we just know that are interesting to talk to.
We want to say a big thank you to Andre's grandmother for those McDoubles that she saw.
She brought us McDoubles. This is her old apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
old house.
Yeah. She's not dead, by the way.
She brought us
the McDoubles.
She's still alive and well.
Also, thank you to Andre's dad, who helped us. He
found our tablecloth.
He got a petrified stink bug out of here that Zach and Andre were scared of.
There's a roach.
He really improved our setup here.
So big thank you to Andre. Like all the lighting, the backdrop, everything, the table, the centerpiece. It's what was it? The centerpiece.
1990 something spacecraft or something like that. I completely forget the name of that.
All right. Well, you're gonna disappoint your father, but thank you to Andre's father.
Was it Astro? No.
For this.
Okay.
Thank you for the living space. Hopefully we'll be sponsored by Wyatt's.
Yeah. We were sponsored by Wyatt's in the first one with the Starburst.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
no Starburst this episode.
So if you're ever in Kentucky, think about stopping by Wyatt's, buying some stuff from them. They support us.
We think that this is probably going to be our setup for the next few sessions of when we do this.
For the foreseeable future.
Definitely,
if things go well.
an improvement from last.
Yes, and we're going to continue to improve. We're going to try to definitely fix the camera issues. We've been looking stuff up about that. We have Cullen on the job, probably the greatest engineer known to mankind.
Hopefully, eventually, more members of the Fiz Kidz.
There are more members of the Fiz Kidz.
Some of them don't like to leave their house, apparently, and don't want to show up, even though we set the time at 12.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, it is 3:48, so
we're cutting down on the time it takes to record these. Don't worry.
We got here at 12.
We got here at 12. It's currently 4 p.m. 12 a.m. But, we just like to thank everyone that's been supporting us doing this project, Andre's family, people that view it. We especially thank the viewers for actually, taking the time out to, listen to us just to ramble on.
Even if it is only for, 8 minutes at a time.
Yes. Hopefully we can improve and provide more quality content for you guys. If you enjoy what we're doing and you want to, see our growth, then you should subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter.
2020 is going to be a big year for the Fiz Kidz.
We're going to blow up. Follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, leave a comment saying what you'd want us to talk about in the future, leave a like, just try to get us out there. Hopefully we'll get on Spotify soon, as I said. We might expand into, Apple Music, if that's easier.
And we can work on setting up our Discord, too.
We will have a Discord for people to talk to.
So you guys can leave suggestions and everything, and we can chat back and forth,
Yes,
too.
and if we actually do get a little more popular, we might consider bringing out some merch that you can buy. So look forward to that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So we might also create a Patreon if you really want to give us continuous support. Then for a little as $1 a month, you can support us to maybe improve the camera.
Camera situation.
That records for 12 minutes at a time.
Buy us more McDoubles.
Yeah, more McDoubles.
Game of fuel.
You can even say thank you. But thank you for watching. This has been the second episode. We'll see you next time. So this is the Fizcast signing out.
Bye.